The Earthship Phoenix floated in space. It was not pretty. Its hull was patched in many places. Some parts were shiny and new, while others looked old and worn. Wires and pipes stuck out in places they should not. The ship looked like it had been built from whatever parts humans could find. Captain Han Jun-ho stood tall on the bridge of the ship. His dark uniform was clean and pressed, a sharp contrast to the messy control room around him. Screens blinked with different colors. Some of them showed strange error messages, but the ship worked, and that was what mattered to Jun-ho. "Captain, we are approaching the meeting point," said Navigator Kang Hee-won. His fingers moved quickly over his control panel. "The Empire ships will be here soon." Jun-ho nodded. "Thank you, Navigator Kang. Is our communication system ready?" Lieutenant Kim Da-mi turned in her seat. Her short black hair framed a face tight with worry. "Yes, Captain, but I must remind you that the Empire has rejected our last 5 requests to join the Galactic Concord. They do not think humans are ready." "Then we must change their minds," Jun-ho said. He looked around at his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer. They had trained for years for this mission. "Today is important for all humans. We will show the Empire that we deserve respect." The ship shook slightly. Engineer Park Sung-min spoke through the communication system. "Sorry about that, Captain. The new engine parts are still settling." Jun-ho pressed a button. "Is there any danger, Engineer Park?" "No, sir," Sung-min replied. "The Phoenix is not pretty, but she is strong, like Earth." A soft alarm sounded. Lieutenant Kim straightened in her chair. "Captain, Empire ships detected. 12 warships approaching. Their weapons are not active, but they are in attack formation. Put it on the main screen," Jun-ho ordered. The large screen at the front of the bridge changed. It now showed space, and in the distance, 12 large ships. They were beautiful. Their hulls were smooth and shiny. They moved together perfectly, like dancers who had practiced for years. They made the Phoenix look even more like junk. "They want to make us feel small," said Security Chief Lee Tae-woo. He stood next to the captain, his arms crossed over his broad chest. "This is not a diplomatic welcome. This is a show of force." Jun-ho kept his face calm, but his hands tightened into fists at his sides. "It does not matter what they think of us or our ship. We have every right to be here." "Incoming communication from the Empire flagship," Lieutenant Kim announced. "They are requesting visual contact." "Accept it," Jun-ho said. He straightened his uniform and took a deep breath. The screen changed again. Now it showed the inside of an Empire ship. It was clean and bright. In the center stood Admiral Vex. He was not human. His skin was a pale blue color that seemed to shine under the lights. His eyes were large and completely black. He had no hair, but his head was covered in small shiny crystals that caught the light when he moved. "Captain Han Jun-ho of Earth," Admiral Vex said. His mouth did not match his words. A translator was converting his speech. "You are far from your home." "Admiral Vex," Jun-ho replied with a small bow of his head. "Thank you for meeting with us. Earth hopes that this time, the Empire will support our request to join the Galactic Concord." Admiral Vex made a sound that the translator did not catch. It might have been a laugh. "Captain, look at your ship, then look at mine. Do you see the difference? The Empire has been traveling between stars for 10,000 years. Your people have barely left your own planet. Our technology may be different from yours, Admiral, but humans have much to offer the Galactic Concord," Jun-ho said. "We learn quickly. We solve problems in new ways. We could be valuable allies." "Allies?" Admiral Vex shook his head. The crystals on his skin sparkled. "You would be pets at best. Your ship is proof of your limitations. It is a miracle that it can fly at all." Jun-ho felt his face grow hot with anger, but he kept his voice even. "The Phoenix may not look impressive, Admiral, but appearances can be deceiving." "Indeed," Vex replied. "Just as your species deceives itself into thinking it belongs among the stars. Return to your homeworld, human. The Empire has spoken." The Galactic Concord is not for primitive species who build ships from scrap. The screen went black as Admiral Vex cut the connection. For a moment, the bridge was quiet. Then Navigator Kang spoke. "Captain, the Empire ships are moving. They are surrounding us." "Are their weapons active?" asked Security Chief Lee, moving to his station. "No," Lieutenant Kim replied. "But they are in position to escort us back to Earth, or to destroy us if we do not comply." Junho walked slowly to the front of the bridge. He looked out at the stars and the shining Empire ships that now surrounded the Phoenix. He had known this would not be easy. The Empire had rejected Earth many times before, but he had hoped that seeing humans face to face might change their minds. "What are your orders, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Kim. Before Junho could answer, the door to the bridge opened. A woman walked in. She was small, but she moved with confidence. Her long black hair was tied back, and she wore the blue uniform of the science team. It was Dr. Yoon Ji-eun, the lead scientist on the Phoenix. "Captain," she said. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "I need to speak with you. It is about the special project." Junho turned to look at her. The special project was supposed to be secret. Only a few people on the ship knew about it. It was a new technology that might change everything, if it worked. "Is it ready?" he asked quietly. Ji-eun nodded. "Yes, the tests were successful. The system works better than we hoped." Junho felt a spark of hope. He turned back to the screen, where the Empire ships still waited. "Then perhaps we should give Admiral Vex a demonstration. Let him see what humans can do with scrap." He turned to his crew. "The Empire thinks we are primitive. They mock our ship. They think we do not belong among the stars." He stood taller. "They are wrong, and we are going to prove it." Engineer Park's voice came through the communication system. "Should I prepare the special system, Captain?" "Yes," Junho replied. "It is time to show the Empire why they should never underestimate Earth." On the screen, the Empire ships continued to shine. They looked powerful and unbeatable. But soon, if Dr. Yoon's project worked, those ships would not look the same at all. Captain Han Junho smiled for the first time that day. "The Empire has spoken," he said quietly. "Now it is Earth's turn to reply." Deep inside the Earthship Phoenix, Dr. Yoon Ji-eun worked in her lab. The room was small and crowded with equipment. Screens showed strange patterns of light. Machines hummed. In the middle of the room stood a metal box that glowed with a soft, blue light. Ji-eun had not slept in 2 days. Her eyes were red, but she did not feel tired. She was too excited. For months she had worked on the secret project that the crew called Project Impossible. Now it was almost ready. The door to the lab opened. Security Chief Lee Tae-woo walked in holding 2 cups of coffee. He was tall and strong, with short black hair and serious eyes. He handed 1 cup to Ji-eun. "You need to rest," he said. "You have been working for too long." Ji-eun took the coffee and drank it quickly. "I cannot rest now, not when we are so close." "Close to what?" Tae-woo asked. He looked at the glowing box. "The Empire has rejected us again. They surround our ship. They want to send us home like children. What can 1 small box do against 12 warships?" Ji-eun smiled. "This is not just a box. This is a quantum resonance drive. The Empire tried to build one a long time ago, but they failed. They said it was impossible." "Then why do you think you can make it work?" Tae-woo asked. "Because the Empire thinks in straight lines," Ji-eun said. She pulled up a holographic image that floated in the air between them. It showed complex patterns of energy. They follow rules. They build on what they know. But humans, we think differently. We connect things that do not seem connected. Tae-woo looked at the patterns but did not understand them. "What does that mean? What will this box do?" "It creates a special kind of energy field," Ji-eun explained. She pointed to the image. "See these waves? They can change the way matter behaves. Specifically, they affect nanomaterials." "Nanomaterials?" Tae-woo repeated. "Like the stuff the Empire uses to build their ships? Ji-un nodded. Yes, their ships are made of nanofabric, tiny machines that can repair themselves and change shape when needed. It is their greatest strength. Tae-woo started to understand. And your box can affect these nanomachines? Not just affect them, Ji-un said with a smile. Control them, change them, make them do things the Empire never imagined. The door opened again, and Captain Han Jun-ho walked in. He looked tired, but determined. Dr. Yoon, he said, the Empire ships are getting impatient. They want us to, turn around and go home. I need options. Ji-un pointed to the quantum resonance drive. This is our option, Captain. It is ready. What exactly will it do? Jun-ho asked. Ji-un walked to a small table and picked up a piece of metal. It was shiny and seemed to move slightly in her hand. This is a sample of Empire nanofabric. Watch. She placed the metal next to the glowing box. She pressed some buttons on a control panel. The box hummed louder, and the blue light grew brighter. The piece of metal began to change. It twisted and folded like paper. In seconds, it had changed from a simple square into a complex shape that looked like a tiny flower. The resonance field tells the nanomachines what to do, Ji-un explained. I can program it to create any shape or pattern. Jun-ho stared at the metal flower. And this will work on an entire ship? Not just one ship, Ji-un said. All of them. The field spreads out. It can reach all 12 Empire ships at once. Captain. Han picked up the metal flower and studied it. Will it hurt the people on the ships? Ji-un shook her head. No. It only affects the nanofabric. The people will be safe. The ships will still work. They will just look different. Very different, Engineer Park Sung-min said as he entered the lab. He was wiping his hands on a dirty cloth. I have been helping Dr. Yoon with the programming. We can make the Empire ships look like anything we want. Jun-ho thought for a moment. If we do this, the Empire will be angry. It could be seen as an attack. Not an attack, Ji-un said. A demonstration. We will show them that humans can do things they cannot. That we see possibilities they miss. That we belong among the stars. Tae-woo crossed his arms. It is still risky. What if something goes wrong? Then we fail, Ji-un said simply. But if we do nothing, we fail anyway. The Empire will never respect us unless we show them why they should. Captain Han put the metal flower in his pocket. He looked at each person in the room. We need to talk to the whole crew. This decision affects everyone. An hour later, the senior officers of the Phoenix gathered in the meeting room. Captain Han explained Dr. Yoon's discovery and the plan to use it against the Empire ships. Communications Officer Choi Min-ho shook his head in disbelief. Let me make sure I understand. We are going to use this untested device to change the shape of 12 Empire warships? Yes, Ji-un said. The math is correct. The tests are successful. It will work. And if it does work, Navigator Kang Hee-won said, we will have embarrassed the most powerful empire in the galaxy. They might declare war on Earth. They might, Captain Han agreed. But I do not think they will. The Empire cares about its image. If we can do this without hurting anyone, they will not want others to know they were defeated by humans. Lieutenant Kim Da-mi spoke up. What exactly will the ships look like when this is done? Engineer Park smiled. We have some ideas. Nothing harmful, but something that will be remembered. Captain Han looked around the table. I will not order anyone to participate in this plan. It is too risky. If you want to leave, you can take one of the escape pods back to Earth. No one will think less of you. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Dr. Yoon stood up. I am staying. The math is correct. This will work. One by one, each officer nodded or spoke their agreement. No one wanted to leave. Then we prepare, Captain Han said. The Empire ships will be in the perfect position in 6 hours. We will have one chance to get this right. As the meeting ended, Engineer Park approached the captain. Sir, there is one more thing. We need to decide what pattern to use for the ships. What are our options? Jun-ho asked. Park handed him a tablet. On it were several designs. Dr. Yoon created these. They are all beautiful. But this one, he pointed to one pattern. This one also changes the ship's identification codes in the Empire database. Jun-ho looked at the design. To what? To 007JF, Park said with a small smile. It seemed fitting. Captain Han handed back the tablet. That one, use that one. 6 hours later, the Phoenix was ready. The quantum resonance drive had been moved to the center of the ship. Dr. Yoon and Engineer Park made final adjustments. The Empire ships surrounded them, weapons still not active but positioned to attack if needed. Captain Han sat in his chair on the bridge. He held the small metal flower in his hand. It represented everything humans could do, everything the Empire had missed. He put it back in his pocket and looked at his crew. Are we ready? He asked. Lieutenant Kim nodded. All systems are ready, Captain. Then let us show the Empire what humans can do with scrap, Jun-ho said. Activate the quantum resonance drive. Activate the quantum resonance drive, Captain Han Jun-ho ordered. Dr. Yoon Ji-eun pressed a series of buttons on her control panel. The ship hummed. The lights dimmed for a moment, then came back brighter than before. Drive is active, Ji-eun reported. Building power. On the main screen, the 12 Empire ships continued to float in perfect formation. They were beautiful and dangerous. Each one could destroy the Phoenix with a single shot. But they did not fire. They were waiting for the humans to give up and go home. 20% power, Engineer Park Sung-min announced. He stood next to Ji-eun, watching the numbers on his screen. 30%, 40. Security Chief Lee Tae-woo looked nervous. How much power do we need? At least 80% for all 12 ships, Ji-eun replied. Her eyes never left her screen. We only get one chance. We need to make sure it works. The ship shook slightly as more power flowed to the quantum drive. Incoming message from the Empire flagship, Lieutenant Kim Dami reported. Put it on screen, Captain Han ordered. Admiral Vex appeared on the screen. He looked annoyed. Captain Han, what are you doing? Our sensors detect unusual energy readings from your ship. Explain immediately. Jun-ho smiled. We are preparing to leave, Admiral. Just making some final checks on our systems. Your time is up, Vex said. You will return to Earth now, or we will escort you by force. Just a few more minutes, Admiral, Jun-ho replied calmly. We want to make sure our ship is ready for the long journey home. Vex made a sound that might have been a laugh. Your primitive ship is barely holding together. I am surprised it brought you this far. Appearances can be deceiving, Jun-ho said. 60% power, Engineer Park whispered. Jun-ho needed to keep the Admiral talking. Before we leave, Admiral, I am curious, why does the Empire fear Earth so much? Vex's black eyes widened. Fear? The Empire fears nothing, especially not humans. Then why stop us from joining the Galactic Concord? Jun-ho asked. What harm could we do? You are unpredictable, Vex said. You do not follow patterns. You do not respect traditions. You would bring chaos to the order we have built over thousands of years. 70%, Park whispered. So you do fear us, Jun-ho said. Not because we are strong, but because we are different. Vex's crystal skin sparkled with anger. Enough talk. You have 1 minute to turn your ship around or we will fire. Warning shots. The screen went dark. 75%, Park reported. Will we make it to 80 before they fire? Navigator Kang Hee-won asked. Dr. Yoon looked up from her screen. We might not need to. The field is stable. It might work now. Captain Han looked at his crew. They were all watching him, waiting for his decision. If they waited too long, the Empire ships might attack. If they activated the drive too soon, it might not work on all 12 ships. Time until the Empire ships fire? He asked. 40 seconds, Lieutenant Kim replied. Time until we reach 80% power? 30 seconds, Engineer Park said. Jun-ho nodded. Then we wait. I want this to work on all of them. The seconds ticked by. No one spoke. The only sound was the hum of the quantum drive as it gathered power. Empire ships are charging weapons. Lieutenant Kim reported. 78%, Park said. 79, 80. Now, Captain Han ordered. Dr. Yoon pressed a button. The quantum drive made a high-pitched sound. The blue light in the center of the ship grew brighter, then shot outward in all directions. It passed through the walls of the Phoenix like they were not there. Field deployed, Jiun announced. Reaching Empire ships in 3, 2, 1. On the screen, the wave of blue energy washed over the Empire ships. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the ships began to change. Their smooth, perfect hulls started to move like water rippling in a pond. The metal flowed and reformed. The sharp edges and weapon ports disappeared. The ships stretched and folded, becoming something new. It is working, Jion whispered. Her eyes were wide with wonder. It is actually working. On the screen, the transformation continued. The Empire ships were no longer warships. They were changing into elegant shapes that caught the light of the distant stars. One became a spiral that twisted gracefully. Another folded into a shape, like a flower opening. A third formed into what looked like a bird with its wings spread wide. Are the crew safe? Captain Han asked. Engineer Park checked his readings. Yes, life support systems are still functioning. The nanofabric is only changing the external structure and some non-critical internal systems, including their identification. Transponders, Communications Officer Choi Min-ho reported with a smile. All 12 ships now register as 007JF in the Empire database. The flagship of the Empire, once the largest and most frightening of the warships, had transformed into an intricate lattice structure that glowed with inner light. It looked like an artwork, not a weapon of war. Incoming transmission from Admiral Vex, Lieutenant Kim reported. Put him on screen, Captain Han ordered. Admiral Vex appeared. He was no longer standing tall and proud. He was holding onto a control panel to keep his balance. Behind him, his crew was running around in confusion. The inside of the ship had changed too. The walls now curved in gentle waves. The lights had shifted to soft colors that pulsed slowly. What have you done? Vex demanded. His voice shook with rage and fear. What have you done to my ships? We have shown you what humans can do, Captain Han replied calmly. Your ships are not damaged. Your crews are not harmed. We have simply changed the form, not the function. Change them back, Vex shouted. We will, Junho promised. After the Empire supports Earth's application to join the Galactic Conquered. Vex's black eyes narrowed. This is an act of war. No, Junho said. This is a demonstration. If humans can do this with a ship you called Scrap, imagine what we could do as your allies. Imagine what we could do as your enemies. The Admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, The other members of the Conquered will hear about this. Good, Captain Han replied. Let them hear how Earth turned the mighty Empire Armada into art. Let them know that humans think differently, see possibilities where others see only problems. Let them decide if they want us as allies. You will regret this, human, Vex said. I do not think so, Junho answered. And remember, Admiral, your ship is now registered as 007JF in your own systems. Every time you dock, every time you communicate with your fleet, every time you file a report, that is how you will be known. Until you help us join the Conquered. Vex cut the transmission without another word. The bridge of the Phoenix was quiet. Then Navigator Kang let out a short laugh. I cannot believe it worked. The math was correct, Dr. Yoon said simply, but she was smiling widely. What now, Captain? Lieutenant Kim asked. Captain Han looked at the transformed Empire ships on the screen. They were beautiful now, not threatening. He had taken a huge risk, but it had paid off. Earth had shown the galaxy that humans deserved respect. Now, he said, we wait. The Empire has a choice to make. They can admit that humans belong among the stars, or they can explain to the galaxy why their mighty warships look like flowers and birds. Security Chief Lee nodded slowly. And either way, Earth wins. Either way, Captain Han agreed. The galaxy will never look at humans the same way again. The Phoenix drifted among the transformed Empire ships, a small, patched-together vessel that had just changed the future of humanity with a single act of peaceful defiance. 3 days passed. The Phoenix stayed where it was, floating in space near the transformed Empire ships. Captain Han Junho had sent a message to Earth explaining what had happened. The response had been quick. Earth leaders were worried, but also proud. They told him to hold his position and wait. On the bridge of the Phoenix, the crew took turns resting. No one wanted to be away too long. They all wanted to see what would happen next. "Captain," said Lieutenant Kim Dami, "we are getting signals from all over the galaxy. News is spreading about what we did." Junho nodded. He had expected this. "What are they saying?" "Many species are impressed," Kim replied. "Some are scared. All of them are surprised. The Empire has controlled space for so long that no one thought they could be challenged. We did not attack them," Security Chief Lee Tae-woo pointed out. "We just changed how their ships look." "It was enough," said Navigator Kang Hee-wan. "We showed everyone that the Empire is not all-powerful, that humans can do things they cannot." The door to the bridge opened and Communications Officer Choi Min-ho rushed in. "Captain, we are getting a message from the Galactic Concord, not just the Empire, but the whole Concord. They want to talk to you." Junho straightened his uniform. "Put them on screen." The screen lit up. 5 faces appeared. One was Admiral Vex, looking angry as always. The others were leaders of the main species in the Galactic Concord. There was a tall, bird-like being with colorful feathers. Next to, it was a small round creature with 6 eyes. On the other side was a being made of what looked like living stone. The last was almost human-looking, but with skin that shifted colors as it moved. "Captain Han Junho of Earth," said the bird-like being. "I am High Speaker Karix of the Galactic Concord. We have heard about your encounter with the Empire fleet." "Hi, Speaker," Junho said with a small bow. "I hope Admiral Vex explained that no one was hurt in the demonstration." "He did," said Karix. "He also demanded that we ban Earth from conquered space forever," the stone being made a rumbling sound that might have been a laugh. "The mighty Empire upset because their pretty ships now look even prettier." Admiral Vex's crystal skin flashed with anger. "This was an attack. The human ship used unknown technology to change our vessels without permission into works of art," said the color-shifting being. "My people have seen the images. We find them quite beautiful." "Beauty is not the point," Vex insisted. "They changed our ships. They changed our identification codes. They made the Empire look weak. They made the Empire look stubborn," said the round creature with 6 eyes. "For years you have blocked Earth from joining the Conquered. For years you have claimed humans are too primitive. Yet they created technology you could not." Junho watched silently. The leaders were arguing among themselves. This was good for Earth. It meant they were taking humans seriously. "Captain Han," said High Speaker Karix, "the Conquered wishes to understand the technology you used." "It is a quantum resonance drive," Junho explained. "It creates a field that can control nanomaterials. The Empire tried to build one many years ago but failed. They said it was impossible. Yet you succeeded," said the stone being. "How?" "Humans think differently," Junho said simply. "We see connections that others miss. The Empire follows patterns. Humans break them. This is why they are dangerous," Admiral Vex said. "They do not respect the natural order." "Or perhaps," said the color-shifting being, "this is why they are valuable. New perspectives, new ideas, new solutions to old problems." "Hi," Speaker Karix raised a wing for silence. "The Concord must discuss this matter. Captain Han, will you restore the Empire ships to their original form?" "Yes," Junho replied. "When Earth is accepted into the Galactic Concord," Admiral Vex made an angry sound. "Blackmail!" "Negotiation," Junho corrected. "We have shown what we can do. Now we ask for what we deserve, a place among the stars." The 5 leaders spoke among themselves for several minutes. Their voices were too low for Junho to hear. Finally, High Speaker Carrick's turned back to the screen. The Concord will vote on Earth's admission, Carrick's announced. All members except the Empire have agreed to support your application. Admiral Vex's black eyes narrowed. I will never vote to admit these primitives. You do not need to, said the round creature. The rules of the Concord state that a new species can be admitted with a majority vote. The Empire has one vote, just like everyone else. Vex looked shocked. But we have always had veto power over new members. By tradition, not by law, said the stone being. And perhaps it is time for some traditions to change. Captain Han could hardly believe what he was hearing. Earth was going to be admitted to the Galactic Concord, even without the Empire's approval. When will the vote take place? He asked. In 3 days, replied High Speaker Carrick's. Representatives from Earth should come to the Concord Central Station for the ceremony. We will be there, Junho promised. And the Empire ships? Carrick's asked. Will you restore them now as a show of good faith? Junho looked at his crew. They had won. Earth would join the Concord. But the Empire was still powerful, still dangerous. Making an enemy of them would not be wise. Dr. Yoon, he called. Can you restore the Empire ships remotely? Dr. Yoon Ji-eun had been standing quietly at the back of the bridge. She stepped forward. Yes, Captain. I can send a reversal signal that will return the nanofabric to its original programming. But I would suggest keeping the 07JF identification codes as a reminder. Admiral Vex looked like he might explode with anger. You dare? The identification codes will also be restored, Junho said firmly, giving Dr. Yoon a look that said this was not the time to push their luck. The Empire will be as it was before, and Earth will join the Concord as an equal. High Speaker Carrick's nodded. It is agreed. We look forward to welcoming Earth to the stars, Captain Han. The screen went dark. For a moment, the bridge was silent. Then Navigator Kang let out a whoop of joy. Lieutenant Kim was smiling wider than Junho had ever seen. Even Security Chief Lee looked happy. We did it, said Communications Officer Choi. Earth is joining the Concord. Dr. Yoon, Captain Han said, turning to the scientist. Please restore the Empire ships as promised. Ji-eun nodded. Yes, Captain. It will take about an hour. As she left to prepare the reversal signal, Engineer Park Sung-min approached the Captain. Sir, there is a message from Earth. They are sending a proper diplomatic ship to go to the ceremony. They want us to come home. Junho smiled. Tell them the Phoenix will return as soon as the Empire ships are restored. And tell them to make sure the new diplomatic ship has some Earth touches. I would hate for anyone to forget what humans can do with scrap. On the main screen, the transformed Empire ships still floated like beautiful sculptures against the black of space. Soon they would be warships again. But the galaxy would remember what they had been, if only for a few days. And the galaxy would never again think of humans as primitive. Captain Han Junho looked around at his crew, the best Earth had to offer. Together, they had changed the future of humanity. Not with weapons, but with creativity. Not with force, but with innovation. Prepare for the return journey, he ordered. It is time to go home. 2 weeks later, the Phoenix docked at Earth's main space station. Hundreds of people waited to welcome them home. They cheered as Captain Han Junho and his crew stepped off their ship. There were flags and banners everywhere. One large sign read, Welcome Home Heroes. I did not expect this, Engineer Park Sung-min said quietly as they walked through the crowd. People reached out to touch them, to shake their hands. You should have, Lieutenant Kim Dami replied with a smile. You helped change history. The crew was taken to Earth's main government building. There, the world leaders waited to hear their story. Captain Han told them everything that had happened. He explained how Dr. Yoon's quantum resonance drive had transformed the Empire ships. He described the meeting with the Galactic Concord leaders, and he told them about the vote that would happen the next day. Earth will become the newest member of the Galactic Concord, he finished. We will finally take our place among the stars. The world leaders clapped and cheered. One stood up to speak. Captain Han and the crew of the Phoenix have done what many thought was impossible, she said. They have shown the galaxy that humans deserve respect. In 3 days, a delegation will travel to Concord Central Station for the official ceremony. Captain Han will lead this delegation. That night, the crew of the Phoenix celebrated together. They had been given a large room in the best hotel in the city. There was food and music. Through the windows, they could see the lights of the city below and the stars above. "I still cannot believe we did it," Navigator Kang Hee-won said. He held up his glass. "To the Phoenix, the scrap ship that changed the galaxy." "To Dr. Yoon," Captain Han added. "Without her quantum drive, none of this would have happened." Dr. Yoon Ji-eun smiled. She looked different now, with her hair down and wearing a nice dress instead of her work clothes. "I had the idea, but all of you helped make it real. This was a team success." Security Chief Lee Tae-woo, who rarely smiled, was smiling now. "And to think the Empire called us primitive. I wonder what they are saying now." "They are still angry," Communications Officer Choi Min-ho said. "I heard the Empire ships were restored to their original form, but people keep calling them the 07JF fleet. The name has stuck." They all laughed. It felt good to laugh after so much tension and fear. Later, Captain Han stepped outside onto the balcony. He wanted a moment alone to think. So much had changed so quickly. He looked up at the stars, knowing that soon Earth would be part of the community of worlds that lived among them. "May I join you?" asked a voice behind him. Dr. Yoon stood in the doorway. Han nodded and she came to stand beside him. "Are you worried about tomorrow?" she asked. "A little," he admitted. "The Empire is still powerful. They will not forget what we did." "They will not," she agreed. "But they will respect us now. And the other species in the Concord will support us." They stood in silence for a moment, looking at the stars. "What will you do next?" Han asked. "After the ceremony?" "I have been asked to lead a new research team," Ji-eun replied. "We will study the quantum resonance technology to find other uses for it. Not just changing the shape of things, but perhaps healing, building, creating in new ways." "And you, Captain? What will you do?" Han smiled. "I will keep flying. The Phoenix is being upgraded. Once it is ready, we will become Earth's first official ship in the Concord fleet." 3 days later, the Earth delegation arrived at Concord Central Station. It was a massive structure that floated in space at the center of the galaxy. Ships from hundreds of worlds docked there. People of all shapes, sizes, and colors moved through its huge halls. The ceremony was held in the Great Chamber. Representatives from all the member species of the Galactic Concord sat in a large circle. In the center was a platform where the High Speaker stood. Captain Han and his crew sat with the Earth delegation. They wore new uniforms, designed to show Earth's new status. Han noticed that Admiral Vex and the Empire delegation sat far away from them. The Admiral still looked angry, but he did not cause any trouble. High Speaker Carrix called the meeting to order. "Today we welcome a new member to the Galactic Concord. Earth has proven its readiness to join our community of worlds." The High Speaker talked about the long history of the Concord, how it had brought peace and cooperation to the galaxy. Then he invited Captain Han to speak for Earth. Han walked to the center of the chamber. He could feel everyone watching him. This was the most important moment of his life. "Thank you, High Speaker," he began. "Earth is honored to join the Galactic Concord. We come in peace and friendship. We bring with us our creativity, our determination, and our unique way of seeing the universe." He looked around at the gathered representatives. Some doubted that humans were ready to join you among the stars. They called us primitive. They mocked our ships and our technology. But we showed them that greatness does not come from having the most advanced ships or the most powerful weapons. It comes from seeing possibilities where others see only problems. There were nods of agreement from many of the representatives. Even some of the Empire delegation seemed to be listening carefully. "Earth promises to be a good member of the Concord," Han continued. "We will follow its laws. We will work for peace. But we will also bring change, because that is what humans do. We see things differently. We find new paths, and we invite all of you to walk those paths with us." When he finished speaking, there was a moment of silence. Then the chamber filled with the sounds of approval. Each species had its own way of showing support. Some clapped as humans did. Others made musical sounds or flashed with light. The high speaker raised his wings for quiet. The vote has been counted. Earth is now officially a member of the Galactic Concord. A cheer went up from the Earth delegation. Dr. Yoon squeezed Han's arm in excitement as he returned to his seat. After the ceremony, there was a celebration. Food and drink from hundreds of worlds were served. Music from many cultures played. Captain Han and his crew were the center of attention. Everyone wanted to meet the humans who had transformed the Empire ships. Han noticed Admiral Vex standing, alone in a corner. After a moment of thought, he walked over to him. "Admiral," he said with a small bow. Vex's black eyes studied him. "Captain Han, enjoy your moment of glory. It will not last." "Perhaps not," Han agreed. "But things have changed. Earth is part of the Concord now." "Yes," Vex said. "And the Empire will be watching you very carefully." Han smiled. "We would expect nothing less. And we will be watching. You too." As Han walked back to his crew, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The journey had been difficult. The risks had been great. But Earth had proven itself. Humans would walk among the stars as equals, not as primitives to be mocked. And it had all started with a scrap ship called the Phoenix, and a crew who refused. To accept that impossible meant impossible. The future was waiting, and it was full of stars.